Hello again, everyone. Few things today. I want to do another mixed media card, and the reason being, several people had asked me about this. It's a matte medium from Liquitex. I usually use Slap It On from Indigo Blue. I have never used this. I don't know how it goes, how it works. So I thought I would have a go, use it, and then I can tell people, you know, what I think, because people don't want to just buy it, I suppose, in case it doesn't work for them. So I'm going to try it. So that's one reason for this video today, to try out Liquitex. Another one is making a layered die from a die that's not a layering die. So this is a die cut from Memory Box. This is, I think it's called Splendid Poppy, and it's about the same vintage as the Dreamy Butterfly, you know, and there's a Dreamy Freesia or something or other, but this is called Splendid Poppy, I think. So what I've done is this: I've cut out one, and I've cut out another, just the flower heads, because what I want to do is to cut from these something that I can add to those. So with my trusty scissors, what I'm going to do is cut off the stem. And then, can you see this petal here that's supposed to kind of come forward? I'm going to cut that one out so that I can stick it onto the front. So, where we're going here, let's go round this line, I think. It's cut most of the way. All I've got to do is finish the top bit and down this one here. There we are, into it. And so I've got a little bit now that I can add to the front of there to add a bit more dimension. And this one, I'm going to do obviously the one that's closest to us, this one right here. So I'm going to continue the line of this, go up over the centre bit and around like that. Just straighten that off a little bit. There we go. Oh, I've got to cut the stem off this as well. So there we are. And that one can go on top of there. And I can put a little piece of foam tape of some description underneath to give it that bit of dimension. So I'm just going to put those on one side for a minute, because I'm not going to colour those just yet. Okay, so that's that one. Put those up there, out of the way. I'll put them in my little tray, I think, and then they'll be safe. Let's just pop them into here. Okay. This was made by Anne's husband Dale in New York State. Very, very useful. So I have got a panel for a square card here. It's the largest square that I can make, the largest square card that I can make from a sheet of British A4. I've got a couple of napkins. This one is a drinks napkin with some music manuscript, handwritten music manuscript on. I might use a little piece of that. It's several thicknesses. So I just need to separate it so that I just get the top layer. The underlayers can be used to stamp on or to emboss on or whatever. Lots of different uses for the lower layers. I think this is probably 3 and I can't separate it. So there's my layer of manuscript. I can use a little bit of that. And this I'm going to put back into my bag. I've got a little, look at this lot, a little bag of tissue paper to go out when I do mixed media. And I thought this one would be rather nice, as I'm going to use a poppy die. This is, you know, be quite nice with poppy colours. So I'll use a little bit of this. So this is easier to separate. And all 4 quadrants of this are the same. So it doesn't matter which one I take, they'll all be the same. So I'm just going to take one of those. And that's 2 layers there as well. I'll just get one. Okay. There's my layer of coloured tissue. Right. So first thing I want to do is to put a little colour onto my base, onto my panel, should I say. I've got some stamps there. What I thought I'd do today to add some colour would be to use this. This is a stamp from this Sizzix set, Butterflies. It's actually, it doesn't show it there, does it? But on here, they've been stamped over with some of these, and I just thought I'd use that one. It's vaguely butterfly-like, and it'll just add some colour. So let me do that first of all. The colours I've chosen to go with this are Abandoned Coral, Saltwater Taffy, and Tattered Rose. I think those go quite nicely with that. Okay, first of all, I'm going to use the lightest colour, which is Tattered Rose, to put some colour just onto the background of my panel. That's a bit small. Let's get a slightly larger block. That should do. All right. This is merely, you understand, to transfer some colour onto my background. Lovely effect, isn't it? I was thinking to myself this morning, what could I use? I've used all sorts, stencils, smooshing, stamping, using an acrylic block, all sorts. But it's just a means, really, of getting some colour onto the background. And I think the last one I'll use just in my fingers because I'd like just part of it. So let's just do this. Okay. A bit more into this corner. Let's use the other side. Let's use this side here. It probably won't be recognisable as butterflies when the whole thing's finished. Right, lid on that, pop that down there. Now, the next thing I want to do, I think, is a little stamping. Now, I've got various things here. I've got these kind of scratchy lines ones, and I love these little circles. I think they're fabulous. So I might put some of those on. I'll put those onto a block. I'm just wondering about what colour. I didn't know whether to do green or a deeper shade of my salt. Let's just use the Saltwater Taffy just for this and just see. I may not like it. There's always a chance you can go over it with something else if you don't like it. That's the joy of mixed media. You can, you know, adapt what you've done. Right, let's just try this. Oh, I don't know if I like it. Not sure about that. Well, I'll put this one away. We will press on. I think I will do something to modify a little of that. Let's put some of this on, I think. Right, I'll leave that for the moment in case I use that one again. What should we do? Let's have a look. Maybe some of these. That might be rather nice. Get my water brush. Make sure water's coming out of it. Yep. So let's try those. Just get rid of that straight edge there. And with that, what shall we have? Perhaps this bit and put it somewhere else. About there. Maybe like that. That has linked this colour in now, hasn't it? So I'm not quite so worried about it really. Anything else? Perhaps just this little flower head here. Which is the right way up. That way, I think. Bearing in mind, I will have this to go over somewhere. Let me just stick these down. We'll see how we get on with this Liquitex. Not sure about it, so one way to find out. Some people say to me, what would happen if I did this? And my answer to that one very often is, well, just have a go and see what happens. Now, I'm not quite, this looks very thin to me. I don't know if it is very thin. Thinner than, I think it's thinner than Slap It On, but we'll see. Okay, pop that on there. I think that because this is really quite fine, if I try and glue the back, you know, put the medium on the back of it, it might just disintegrate. So let's see. I'm hoping that it is totally, let's try it on the back and see. They're lovely colours, aren't they? So warm. Absolutely love them. Let's try this one. I'll try some on the back. Seems to be holding up. I'd rather do it onto the background, really. There we go. Right, let's try a little bit of the manuscript as well. A few little pieces of this. Get it the right way up. Water brush. Let's have a few little lines of music. Putting the water onto the tissue just relaxes the fibres, so they'll just tear along where the water was or is. There we go. I think this one needs to go straight on. I think it might be a bit tricky. A bit more of that. Just use a bit more from the same line. Just get rid of the straight edge. Okay. Maybe one more piece. We've got to bear in mind this has got to go on somewhere or other. I'm thinking kind of there. Perhaps we'll leave that as is for the moment. Right, next bit, a little bit of stenciling. This is an Alexander Renker, just kind of drippy bits coming down. I could try it. I haven't used this one for a while. Just put it over like that, I think. Let's just take some out. Where's my knife? Here it is. I will link the video with the recipe for this in the description below. So if you want to make your own homemade embossing paste, it's really easy. It's just talcum powder, acrylic paint and white glue with a drop of water. And you need very little, can you see? And it keeps for weeks and weeks and weeks. I made this. This is an old pot from some gilding flakes, but it's keeping it very well. Right. Oh, that's pretty. Isn't that pretty? I'll just put some twinkle onto that. Here it is. And some of that twinkle has also stuck to the Liquitex. Not sure if I want quite as much as that, so if I just get a big brush. I think some of it will come off when it's dry. Yeah, can you see? I don't want to do too much because I don't want to smudge the embossing, the paste. But can you see? It will come off a bit. That's good. Okay, right. We're doing well so far. I haven't used any stamping with my text stamps, and I do like to use this one. This was my all-time favourite from Amazon. There's another one here with bits of text and goodness. I will use some of this. Just give this a quick wipe though before we go any further. Don't want it to set hard onto my stencil and ruin it. As far as I'm concerned, there's no specific order for putting any of the things onto the card. If you put tissue down and then stamp afterwards, you won't get as clean a stamp as if you stamp directly onto the card base, but it may be an effect that you particularly would like to have. So there's no hard and fast rules. You do what pleases you. So let's just try a bit of this, and I'm thinking I might use, I'm thinking hickory smoke. I often use pumice stone, but I'm thinking hickory smoke because of the manuscript. Perhaps I'll just try it on a bit of scrap a minute first, just to see close by. Let's just see. Yes, I think it'll be okay. I think it will be okay. Right. Quite subtle, it's fine. Okay, a bit in this bottom corner. That's fine. I might use this, one of these little stamps again. Let's use the other one, the one I put away. I'm going to use it with hickory smoke this time. Falling off the stamp block, I'll just put a bit of glue on it. The way to get them to stick is actually to give them a good wash in soapy water. Okay. Right, that's going to do for that. I'm going to leave that for a moment, and I'm going to go on now and play around with the flower to see what we need to do to make it sort of in keeping with the background. So here's my poppy, and there's my 2 extra pieces. So I'll just get a mat to work on. I am thinking, I was wondering about using this or whether to use markers. I often use distressed. Let's use markers. So I need to find a colour that's comparable, if I can. Might be tricky. E030. That's the one. Pink. Oh, pink flamingo. Bless it. Let me try this on my piece of scrap before we use it. Not bad. And with that, I want something a bit redder, a bit more to the abandoned coral sort of colour. I don't know that there is anything in here that's this sort of colour, really. R070 Y5. There it is. Let's try that one. That'll do. That will do. Right. Let's do this. It's not really red enough, is it? Perhaps I'll just put a red with it. Some green on the stem. Not bad, actually. I can go right up into that bit because it's going to be covered by that bit there. Okay, right, I've got my green, my stem done. Let's have a go at these flowers. It's just a question of which bit is going to be darker. Let's try the darkest in the middle. Do the edge of this because it might be seen. Okay. Can't pick things up these days. There we go. Right. Got my colours wrong, didn't I? I was thinking I was picking up the... thinking I was picking up the red one. Oh, I didn't, never mind. We'll carry on. This is the colour I wanted, the deepest colour for the middle. I was thinking it was rather insipid. Where these dips are here, I'm trying to put a little bit of shading. All right. I'll go all over with this one and then may need to put some more of that one on in the middle. Just going to put a little bit of black into the centre of this one here, just in this bit here. Okay. Bit of shape. Just needs a bit more blending, this one. Choose the lightest colour. Just down there. Okay. To use a lighter colour on a deeper colour pulls some of the colour out. So if you want to lighten it, blend it, all the rest of it, you go over the top. Right, let's have a look at that one as well. I think this needs a bit of blending too down here. Needs a bit more definition. This is the red one. It's confusing, isn't it? Okay. Blending, okay. This is probably going to be just okay, just shaping it with my fingers. You don't necessarily need to use an embossing tool. I think that's pretty. Let's just see what it looks like on here. Now, at the minute, it's not incredibly, you know, distinct. I need something, some panels of something just to form a backdrop for this. What? I'm liking the colour though very much, and I think it's quite sympathetic with the colours in the background. I'd like a sentiment, but I just want something here. I'll have a look through my dies and I will be back. Well, I had a good old rummage through my dies, mainly Gummiapan, this lot in fact, and I cut some of them out, and what I've decided on are these two little taggy things. I do want to do a sentiment as well, and for the sentiment I picked one of these. I got these on Amazon. Some of them are kind of too long for my design, so I wanted something shorter, and I've gone with Get Well Soon, so I thought that might go kind of in there somewhere-ish. I want to just do a little bit of something onto these, maybe a bit of edging. Let me stick this flower together first of all, these extra petals. I want to put a little bit of foam tape on the back just to make sure they stay raised, and then I'll glue them where they're supposed to be actually joining the flower. So, foam strips. I've got some very skinny foam strips. These are from Sticks to Anything, and there's about 3 widths. Or is it 2? Might be 2, can't really tell. So I just want some tiny bits just to put behind. So I have a little on this one. Someone suggested colouring the side of this, but to be perfectly honest, you'd have to look at a very strange angle to try and spot that, you know, the foam tape. So if that goes on there, and a little bit goes on this one. So if there's a chance of it being seen, obviously it would be a really good idea to colour it, but I don't think it's really necessary. Okay, let's put that at the top. So I'm going to put glue around the bottom, around here, and glue around that bit there. Okay, here's my glue. Might need a little moment just to hold it down. Okay. Take off the backing. There we are. And this one. Sweet, isn't it? Right, something to do with this now. There's a bit of a dirty mark there, but I don't think that matters because the poppy's going to cover that. Just wondering whether to put a bit of inking on the edge, a bit of stamping over it. I think I'm going to stick with hickory smoke for this. If I don't like it, I'll cut another one. Let's just try a little bit. That's okay. This one as well. I think I'll do a bit of stamping on this as well as just in the grey. Let's see what this looks like. I may have to do something else with it, not sure. We'll just see. I think that's probably okay. A bit white there. Let me just stamp the sentiment and then see where that's going to go. The other colour I was wondering about was abandoned coral, but we'll see what this one looks like when it's cut out. Better. I think that'll be fine. Right, I'm going to stick this down. That's going to go onto foam tape. These are going to be stuck directly. I might take a bit of pressing down. Just put some glue on the back of this. I'm pleased with this actually. I think this flower's turned out nicely. With all those other layered flowers I've been using, I came across this one in my box and thought, oh, make a layered flower out of this one too. Whereas it's not a different shape piece that I've added, but it is just another level. Now, piece of foam tape on here, and then it'll all be ready to go onto my card base. Get well soon. Little white bit's all right there, isn't it? Right, this is to go on my card base. I think that one can go down flat, actually. So I think there's sufficient dimension on that for it to go flat. So there we are, finished card. Two things, trying out Liquitex, and I think it's wonderful. Look at that. Absolutely first class. Available from Amazon. I will put a link. Beautiful. And we've made a layered poppy from a single layer die. So I'm pleased. I really rather care for that. And the colours, I think, are so warm with that beautiful napkin that I started with, which was a gift from a crafter. And I had a message from another crafter this morning who said about hyping. If you hype video that you've watched that you like, it does make that video more prominent. And it's for people who haven't got hundreds of thousands of followers like myself. And it will make those videos more available to more people. So if you could give a hype, that would be wonderful. You click on the like and the hype option comes up, and you can hype up to 3 videos in a week, and it doesn't cost you anything. If you want to hype more than that, then apparently there is a fee to be paid, but 3 a week, no problem. You can do that for free. So if you'd like a video and you'd like to hype it, that'd be great with me. So thanks so much for watching. Thanks for the thumbs up. Thanks for subscribing, and come back and see me very soon.